say really congratulate them on winning a piece of the championship. It's really hard to do, to finish your year 16-4. I mean, that's really hard to do. You get a win on the road, you win at home, almost all your games, and they did a great job. The block shots were a huge part of this game. That we did some things differently this time. We got to the rim. I think all 8 of maybe 7 of those were layups at the rim that they came from behind and made really good plays. I thought that was a big part of it. And then the second half, we didn't with them having 27 or 25, whatever they had at halftime, 28. I mean, that was great. That was a defense that I knew we could play. The second half, they were just better than us than that. They're down people too. Charles Matthews, one of the best defenders in the country. Missing him again does not help us in either one of these games. He really wasn't right. Now you add in foul trouble, and we just weren't very good, and they got us in foul trouble. So a tough loss. Move on to the Big Ten Championship. If we learn as much as we did last time when we played them, I don't know if we win. We win at Maryland. Let's just talk about that. We don't know that Maryland if we didn't lose to Michigan State at home. We learned so much from that game about what it takes to win games. We win at Maryland. This game would have been a moot point whether it was a championship. So there's good and bad to it. We'll take the good. We'll take the lessons we learned from this game, apply them to the Big Ten tournament, see if we can win that again. If we can't, we'll apply it to the NCAA tournament, and just keep getting better. We have a good group here, young men that are really hurting right now, and we're with them all the way.
Questions?
John, Winston
Yes.
started slow offensively, and then he caught fire in the second half. What was the difference? What was he doing, or what were you guys not doing to let him do that?
I'll have to watch film more because it was, we had some different coverage we were going to do. They're so good in their ball screen offense, and he's so good at it. And they're just, Tillman has some explosiveness at the rim that is really good. You can throw it up to him, but he's just good at seeing the floor really well. Did a great job. In the first half, we really had him covered well with all of that. Thought his bank 3 was a big part of the game too. It was a huge part. After we got the ball inside to John, and then we didn't get that one. It was before or after, and then that bank 3. Those were big plays.
John, you guys had that 5-point lead there, and then you went on that big, I think, 22 run.
What was it?
I think it was like a 20-2.
Wow, that's a bad run.
Yeah, I mean that stretch there. I mean, what was it that they were doing? Did they do anything differently, or did they just kind of start D'ing up a little bit better?
No, I think we imploded a little bit on a couple of occasions where we, they blocked a couple shots during that time, and that was huge. And then we missed some shots. We even had a couple air balls, and so that's really tough for us. And then now they're out, and they didn't miss it their end. We lost some coverages in transition. They put you in great rotations. We tried to stay out of that more than we were last time, but they got them. They only made 6 threes, and that's a goal for us to keep people to 5 or 6 threes. They only made 6, right? But they got to the foul line like crazy, and that we don't foul, and somehow we got in big foul trouble today. So blame me for that.
Do you expect Charles back for the Big Ten tournament next week?
That's what I was hoping he'd be back today. I mean, I really thought there was a realistic chance at it, but he just couldn't go. Yesterday he was trying, and it just doesn't feel right. We're not going to make that young man go out there unless it feels right.
And then
we'll see what it does. I thought he'd be able to play by today, but there's no way he can play it. And he is working so hard to come back. But as everyone knows, we're not very. I am proud of the way our freshmen played in the first half, right? But to have really 3 guys sitting on our 3 top forwards sitting on the bench at one time was not good in the first half. And then playing like that, Iggy playing with 3 and 4 fouls. And then maybe I second guessed myself. Maybe should take Iggy out and get him back in, but I didn't feel we could do that late in the game.
And then 8 assists, I think, in the first half. Just talk about what went right offensively in the first half.
I think it was about our defense. Mm-hmm. Our defense was better, so it gets us in the running game, gets us going up and down the court. But I can't tell you, the 8 block shots are like huge. When you get to the rim and you're open and you don't get the ball in, right? And we had some other ones they didn't block, but they affected shots. And that was a big difference in the game.
After the first game, you said you saw some bad one-on-one habits. Did you see those come back in the second?
For us?
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some things. With them, they're really good at switching now. They switched again. I thought we had a really good plan in the first half. In the second half, there's just, kids aren't just used to that, And then we did get it the one time, and it was a walk. So I'll have to look at that one. But, I mean, you can see it, but it's only for a second because they're they're going to bring a guy in quickly. As soon as you make 2 or 3 passes, they're going to replace that guy and get a guy with size back in there. And I did see us look at it, but there's some other times. I mean, Iggy took the ball right to the basket on Kithier, and we had him set up again, but we did something else. These are things we got to learn.
It looked like Colin and John were calling for a ball a lot. Did you feel like you could have thrown it in more today?
Yeah, absolutely. We're just that, as I said, that is just not like this. You have a 6'8" guy with his hands up. There's help side all around. It is tougher than you think to just throw it up. And so it's got to be quick, and you got to have guys who can pass. We got Isaiah Simpson can see that. Our other guys are still learning. Muhammad Ali Rahman had 25 assists in his freshman year, 135 in his senior year. It takes time to really appreciate the quickness you got to think when you see any mismatch.
John, looks like. Sorry.
Where are we at?
Sorry.
Yes, sir.
My fault. During that big run, there were a couple times where it looked like there was a little bit of a hesitation by Xavier that maybe you were going to call timeout and you didn't. Kind of what was the thinking there? One time it worked, and then one time,
I
obviously.
think that was a play. Someone was called timeout. No, he and I will talk about that. I wanted to call timeout. We had one coming up. We had double timeouts, right? So he and I will talk about that.
Two-parter about the bench production in the first half. How much was by design to give guys rest, and how much was just by necessity with the foul trouble? And what did you think of how the?
I think we wanted to give guys rest, but it got a little messed up. Like we wanted, and JP didn't get a rest in the first half, and that he needed that. He was doing a great job, out there on McQuaid. He's doing a great job on him, but he needed a rest. But we couldn't give it to him as soon as we took him out. Iggy or Isaiah got another foul. And but the first half it didn't bother. The second half, we came out, and then we have a tendency as a team that we want to play, and when we play without fouling, and sometimes it was an Ole defense. So it's too bad, right, that we weren't able to stay out of foul trouble and we weren't able to answer the second half. They're good. There's a what do we got? How many wins we got? 26. How many they got? There's 2 really good teams. One team was going to win. One team was going to play better. They played better.
And last year you said going in there would be block shots, but not to let that deter your guys. Did you feel like there was a little bit of a?
Well, I think so. We had some misses later on that because of that. But I think we get to the rim. We got a few things. I mean, we have some challenges in certain things that we can do, and we have to find ways to get better at getting through the weaknesses that we have. What do we got?
All right, defensive rebounding, I think it was 16 to 11. What did you see that maybe was missing?
I mean, their offensive rebound.
Yes.
Yes. So that wasn't good. I think we just there's some of those rebounds. If Teskey and Tillman are going for the ball and it's up there, Tillman's going to get it, right? So there were some of those that were way out there. But there was a couple early. McQuaid comes in and gets a rebound. I think there was what we call a strong man rebound. They didn't get it. Where it was 2 guys on the block. No, we got to do better at that. Put that on me. We're going to box out better. We're one of the best in the country at not allowing second shots. Not tonight.
And then with the implosion that you used the word imploded, was that something mental? Did you feel like they were getting more frustrated than they should have been, or was that a strategy?
Yeah, we were. Implosion's a really bad word to use. We weren't as poised as we needed to be. We needed to be poised at that time, and we weren't. We didn't show. We won it at Villanova. We won it at Maryland. We went. Not Wisconsin. We didn't win that. When we went to Illinois, we played between like 90% and 100% like packed houses, and we did not lose our poise in all 7 of our road wins. Today we lost some poise.
Early in the game when Cassius was struggling a little bit, what was Xavier doing well then?
Well, first of all, Cassius was in foul trouble and had to sit most of the half, so that really helped us in the first half as well. But no, our coverage on the ball, that's not just Xavier, it is John staying in front of that guy, right? Is he able to do that? They're able to switch that a little bit. We tried later on. Is the backside coming in while John and Xavier, our 2 men are on, is the backside coming in and help? And we didn't do that in a few cases, particularly when our young guys were the backside help, they were nowhere to be found. And that's, why? Because they're young.
And in terms of poise late in games, I guess, do you feel like this team is where it needs to be in terms of that, or how can it?
We won 7 road games. We're pretty good at winning, right? We just lost to a really good team. It's not about us. We lost to a really good team. But this will make us better.
Anything else? Go ahead, Jim.
John, how can a game like this, I guess, help in the maturation process for some of the younger guys?
Yeah, I mean, we returned everybody from this team. I mean, this is a young team. I'm glad we don't have, a senior night, like that with the three. They got guys out there that are 5-year player, a 4-year player that they've been through a lot and they know how to win. They've been, 4 years and 5 years. That was like Duncan Robinson and Muhammad Ali out there. That's what really helps you win. So I think as we go through this thing, we're going to be so much better next year because of all the lessons we learned in all these kind of games.
And then for Charles, could he have gone in an emergency situation?
No, because of a foul trouble, he probably would have been there. But and I'm all for it. He's going to tell us what his body feels. And he actually ran. He did some fast break drills yesterday. He made a beautiful 3 in traffic. He did everything, but he couldn't cut the way he wanted to cut. And we're not going to put him out there. He's going to be a liability defensively, offensively. But he's such a good defensive player. Like when they got some of those layups, Charles would have been standing in there. Not an excuse, right? They could have had Ward in there, but they're a little deeper than we are at that at a couple of positions, and that's the way it goes.
Just before we finish, our players are available outside our locker room. Right, Chris?
John, just kind of like sum this all up. I mean, this is the first time this state has seen a game of this magnitude on one of the home courts. I guess, did it live up to what you expected in terms of?
Yeah, it was great. It was both games really were like great atmospheres. If they listen to probably Tom and I and say, make this the last game of every year for years, we will be in this thing. Now, we all always playing for the championship? You don't know. But I think it's a great concept for us to look at. This should be who won the Duke North Carolina game? Okay, so I mean that should be a backup. Isn't that a great thing for us to have, right? And I was just thinking about last year. I mean, they won the regular season last year too, right? We won the Big Ten championship. You guys should be writing about that stuff. I mean, in our own state, there's 14 teams in this league, and you got the 2 champions last year, and maybe we'll do it again. It's great. This is great time for big time basketball in this state, and it's wonderful. And I know you appreciate that. I'm not going to say you don't appreciate that. But this is like a very unique situation. We're all in with 2 great programs, and let's just hope we can both keep it going for as long as we can because it's great entertainment. It's great Saturday night basketball. So thank you.